Okay, so in this video in the series for making a riser for an EM-200 Takahashi mount, we're going to go over just the tools and the supplies to do this project. Number one, what you're going to need is right here, and this is, as you can see, Skywatcher. EQ6 pure extension, and it is the S30102. See it there as well. Okay, you'll need to purchase that, which I sourced off of B&H Photo. This is the second one I've done because I have two of these EM-200s, and I was able to find the best price for it on B&H at the time. You can shop around and see. I think it cost me like $90. Might be able to get better deals other places from time to time. They kind of switch back and forth, but that's what it is. It is the Skywatcher EQ6 pure extension S30102. Next thing you're going to need is your color. If you want to match up the color to your Takahashi mount, this here, as you can see, is Krylon Fusion, and I'll get you the color right there. 2335 Honeydew Ambrosia. Now, to let you know, this has been discontinued by Krylon. You can still find them on eBay, which I did. And they range in price from you can make a deal and get them decent to people trying to rip you off for them. I've seen some of them trying to sell this for $50 a can or more, which is ridiculous. I made a deal. I got 2 cans of this on a or best offer. Ended up getting both of them, 2 cans, along with delivery for like $17.95 or something like that. And that's actually about the price you'd pay for these at the local store if they still, made these, which again, it's been discontinued. So if you want to pick up 1 or 2, what I found on this is just a little bit light of the true Takahashi color. It's close, but it's just a tad on the light side. The second one, which is an option sort of, is Tamiya color acrylic paint, which these are used for models. You can get them at model shops, online, whatever, and this is still available, very readily available. XF21. And I found that this is just a little shade darker than Takahashi color. So to me, the color that matches the best would be in between these two. But either one is close. This is just a shade dark. This is just a shade light, but kind of hard to tell. And the other thing with this is they don't offer it in a spray paint version. And the reason I have this is more for touch-up. On your mount, if you get a scuff or a scratch, better take that, dab some on, and it'll look really good. You could get like a little airless paint sprayer that they use for doing, air painting in that, and pour this in there and use it that way, to use it the same way you would a spray can and do a larger area. So up to you which way you go. This is more convenient and easier to do. This is great for touch-up, or if you want to put it in a paintless little air sprayer, you could use it on larger areas. Next thing you need is this right here. This is the most important thing that you're absolutely going to have. The mounts for the EM-200, the bolt and knob that are underneath that go through the mount base and up into the mount itself, have a weird thread to them. What the thread is this right here. This is a British standard Whitworth thread. Okay, it's British Standard Whitworth, which is BSW 1/2, because the shaft is 1/2 inches, 12 threads per inch. So to source this, you can source them online. I got it from BritishScrews.com, a place in New York. BSW 1/2 12. Okay, so remember that. BSW 1/2 12. British Standard Whitworth 1/2 inch shaft, 12 pitch count is 12 per inch. Okay. This, I don't know why Takahashi uses it. This is an old standard that is not used much anymore. Definitely not used in the United States, and everywhere else is pretty much metric, but this is what they use. I actually ordered 3 of them, so I knew I'd have the right length I needed. And of course you see 2 here because the other one I used on the other mount. This is 1.5 inches long. I had a 2.5 and a 3. This is a 3, and I used a 2.5 inch long on the other one. Any of these will work. The 1.5, you know, it'll do fine. The 2 or 2.5, if you get that, goes farther into the mount. The 3 goes way into the mount. Probably give you the best as far as you don't want to get one of these where you're just catching a couple of threads and that's what's holding your mount. You don't want that. You want it to go in pretty good. And that's the problem, and the reason you need to get these is because the bolt with the knob on it that comes with the mount that goes up and screws into through the plate and into the bottom of the mount will not be long enough to do this project here. It won't reach, or if you're lucky, depending on what type of mount plate you have, you might just catch a couple of threads, and that's not what you want. So you need to get these bolts because they'll be longer than the one your mount comes with, and this will be able to bolt in to your riser and bolt in there nice and deep and give you a good hold. Okay, and again, that is BSW, British Standard Whitworth, 1/2 12. Okay, and at least 1.5 inches long. 2.5 is best. 3 will do as well, kind of long. A couple of washers, a lock washer, and it's just one that I've had around. As long as they fit over that shaft, so it'd have to be a half inch, and you'll see where those fit in later. This right here, M10 1.5. What this is metric 10 screw 1.5 thread pitch. Okay, they come in M10 1.25 and M10 1.5. You need the M10 1.5, and your length, this here I got is 40 millimeters, which equates to roughly 1 5/8 inches. Yeah, my math is right. But you'll want no less than 1 1/4 inches long. M10 1.5. You only need 1. This came in a 2-pack, but you just need 1. You'll see why later. A hacksaw or some kind of cutoff wheel, which you'll need, which you'll actually use on one of these later. You'll need something to do a little grinding, emery cloth, or known as what else do they call it? That like plumbers use it for sanding off like copper pipe and stuff like that. Comes in rolls, or something like this, which use in the drill later. You'll see why. But either that or some emery cloth, a hacksaw, or some type of cutoff wheel. Whether you put it in an air tool or in that, it spins, and you'll need it on this again. Hex driver set, hex keys, a straight blade screwdriver, metal drill bits, specifically depending on which mounting plate you use, you're going to need from the 27/64 up to 1/2 inch. On other ones it'll be 15/32 up to 1/2 inch, but ultimately you want to go to 1/2 inch. You'll see why with that later. And obviously a either corded or battery powered drill to do the drilling that you're going to need to do, and maybe to put a cutoff wheel or something in there to do something with one of these bolts, which we'll go over later. So again, this is what you need to do this project. You need to source the pier, the Skywatcher EQ6 pier. If you want to paint these to make them match your Takahashi setup, you'll want to get the Krylon Fusion or the Tamiya color acrylic. You'll want to get the British Standard Whitworth bolts. You'll want to get an M10 1.5, at least 40 millimeter long bolt, a couple of washers, a hacksaw or some kind of cutoff wheel, hex key set, straight blade screwdriver, metal drills, and of course something to do the drilling with and the cutoff with. And that's it. That's what you need to get this project done. That's your whole deal there. As I said before, you can source this on many different places on the internet. I gave you the part number on it. Find where you get the best deal. Best place to find this Krylon Fusion is on eBay. Make a deal. Don't pay anybody $50 a can for it. They're ripping you off. This is pretty cheap. I think it was like, I got it off Amazon, and it was like $3 a little bottle. This, BritishFasteners.com. There's some other ones. BritishFastener.com is in the United States, so shipping isn't bad. You don't have to ship it for overseas. Got here pretty quick. If you're overseas, you can source these wherever overseas. Home Depot. Those are tools I have. There you go. That's it. From here on, we're going to start doing this, and I will do videos to show you exactly how to make this thing and match it up.